And welcome back to a Money Monday edition right here on Liquid Lunch. I'm Fernando Uribe filling in for the great John Tobacco. And John will be back tomorrow, folks. He's out saving the world out in Staten Island, raising hell and opening eyes for everyone that is really, if you've been watching the news feeds, you know what's going on in Staten Island at the Mac Public House. And certainly what's been transpiring there has been just unfortunate. And certainly we love to see John out on the street, being that voice for so many of us that wish to have a say in what's going on in our political climate. And without question, one that is a great contributor to that in her own right, and certainly someone who comes from a very long lineage of strong, very strong minds. Joining me here today, folks, is Dr. Melanie Cain Gallo, the esteemed daughter of the late, great Herman Cain, joining us on a Money Monday. Dr. Gallo, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I've been great, and as I talked about during the break, I mean, you are a spitting image of your father. My goodness, I mean, you are definitely your father's daughter, to say the very least. So God bless you.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
And definitely, my thoughts and prayers continue with your family.
Thank you.
Herman was a great man. Certainly, I love seeing him not only running for office, but as a contributor when he was on during cable news. Dr. Gallo, certainly we know that a documentary is on the horizon. And, definitely what should our audience know about this upcoming documentary?
Well, the name of it is From Poor to CEO, The Incredible Journey of Herman Cain. And it's really just a story about faith and family, and the things that were the foundations of what my dad and my grandfather and other grandparents believed in: faith, family, hope, perseverance, and all of those things. And it kind of gives a background into the public persona that everyone is more familiar with. It allows people to get a glimpse into how he was in his private life and in his spiritual life.
Well, Dr. Gallo, I have to say, though, I mean, following your dad as long as I have, and certainly being an admirer of his, I mean, it's really astounding to me, his story. Coming from very humble beginnings and becoming the CEO, and quite frankly, running for political office. This is something that, I'm sure his parents and even grandparents would have never even envisioned your dad being able to do such a thing, but he did. And he became such a prominent member of not just the business community, but also the political community. And he was a guy that, was very well respected for his views. And, growing up, seeing your dad ascend as he did, what was maybe a few things that stood out about him for you?
Well, it didn't just start with my dad. It was actually watching my grandfather first, because he worked hard. He worked all the way up until he couldn't physically work anymore. He had 3 jobs. Of course, I wasn't around for all of them, but he worked as barber. He had worked when my dad was younger as a janitor. He was a chauffeur. So he always, those are my first memories of seeing this pattern of hard work, determination, hope, and just focusing on achieving the American dream and their American dream.
Well, I have to say, though, that, when I think about your dad, Dr. Gallo, I think about a guy who had a quiet poise to him, and a guy who didn't get ruffled. And for someone like your father, who, listen, I'm Hispanic and I hold pretty conservative views. I've been vilified here in media where I live in New Jersey by members of the leftist, media brigade. And I can only imagine, and I saw it with my own eyes, quite frankly, how men of color like your father, who held good conservative views, who held a healthy perspective about business and economics, how he was vilified. And I find that to be so fundamentally unfair to your dad. And quite frankly, I mean, as his daughter, I mean, not to be sort of brash here, but that had to piss you off.
It did. It really did. But the amazing thing was that he would get angry and upset, but his way of dealing with those things was viewing them as a challenge and just another hurdle and another barrier to break through. I mean, he made a living, he made it his life's work to break through barriers, from breaking through barriers when it came to, you know, his education, and then getting into his first job at the Department of the Navy, and then in corporate America, and then being on board. He was always working to break through barriers that people said that he could not do. So whenever someone told him that he shouldn't be thinking this way, or that he shouldn't be doing these things, that to me looked like it served as motivation to him to prove that, you know, I have freedom of thought, I have freedom of opinion, and he respected the fact that everyone had that, whether they agreed with him or not. It was important to him that he had that freedom of thought and the ability to just continue to push forward towards what he believed in.
No, and without question, your father is an ideal American success story. And we know what the documentary that we were just discussing, I know it was produced and filmed between 2018 and 2019 by Tully and Cain Entertainment. It's being distributed by Liftable Media. What's the timeline, though, Dr. Gallo, in terms of, and we know COVID is throwing a wrench into everything when it comes to entertainment and media, and whether it's viewing things online. Obviously, going to the movies is no longer what it once was, right? Everything is streamed. What can you tell our audience today about any timeline as to when it's available, how it's being distributed, where it can be accessed?
Sure. Well, fortunately, it's available right now. It's available on hermancainmovie.com, available for DVD purchase and also digital download purchase. We are going to be expanding in the new year to other platforms, but people can go right to hermancainmovie.com and purchase it now.
Now, just for our audience, though, who aren't aware of the film itself, certainly, and again, folks, it's the incredible journey of Herman Cain. From poor to CEO, the incredible journey of Herman Cain. It's a great title. Obviously, your father has been such a public person, and he's been in the public eye for so long. I'm sure most of your entire natural life. So it's something that, you know, obviously is something to be proud of. But what is perhaps maybe one dynamic that the film doesn't capture, or that you can tell our audience about your father, the man, the humanitarian? What's something that we don't know about your dad that could surprise us?
Well, I think you hit on that when you said the man, the humanitarian. He and Barry Tolley, the filmmaker, did such an awesome job in capturing all of this. The fact that he was a humanitarian, he was concerned about other people. He wanted to make this world a better place. That was his goal. And family was huge, is huge, and not only our family, but even before, you know, we came along, when he was a child, family was paramount in everything that he did, and his faith. So I think the viewing audience, they might be surprised at how deep his faith was. You will be able to see him in our home church. I don't know that people knew that he was an ordained minister. You will get to hear more about that. You'll get to see him interacting with young people. I mean, there are just so many things about what drove him that related to him wanting to help people and him wanting to provide hope, not only for us, his family, but for everyone who he could reach.
Dr. Gallo, we're just about to wrap up here, but very quickly, since your father's passing, what can you tell us, in addition to the documentary itself, what's a legacy you want to keep serving in your father's memory, and to not only keep his name alive, but what would you like to keep doing in succeeding your father?
Well, I think we had very similar things that drove us. We just go about it in a different way. So he had the political, keynote speaking, larger than life type personality, where he enjoyed reaching audiences at mass. and especially business audiences before even the political area began, and teaching people about, or reminding people about focus, staying focused, reaching for your dreams, success, leadership. And that is what I am able to carry on. Just continuing to teach people, and even with my own background as a coach and in business psychology, I don't necessarily reach people the same way, but I reach people with the same message. And so I want to make sure, and this movie again reinforces that, that desire to give people hope, help people be more successful, both personally and professionally, and just reach the dreams that they truly want to reach.
Well, Dr. Gallo, I can just say your dad is immensely proud of you and will continue being proud of you for the work you're doing. And certainly for everyone here, again, folks, check out From Poor to CEO, The Incredible Journey of Herman Cain. It's available online. Definitely catch it whenever you can. And again, we want to thank Dr. Melanie Cain Gallo, the daughter of the esteemed Herman Cain, for joining us here on Liquid Lunch. Dr. Gallo, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Folks, we'll be right back right after this here. We still got a little bit left here of Liquid Lunch here in hour 2, and we'll be right back right after this.